I'm Kim Wilson. Welcome to Dittmer ArtBarn, where art meets craft in the country. Come on in, we'll make some art. Hi, I'm Kim Wilson from Dittmer ArtBarn, and today we're going to talk about Nuno felting, or wet felting versus dry felting. Nuno is also laminate felting, meaning we're going to laminate wool to silk. Raw silk, and but we can use other things. Like this has some cotton pieces and some silk slub inside of it, and then you can add appliques to it or whatever. You can do scarves, worn pieces. This piece that we're going to do today has remnants of different wool pieces. There's sweater parts and some yarn and some lace and all different kinds of things that will be laminated to the silk. There's a piece of dyed silk underneath it, and so the trick is to get the wool to shake down and bind into the silk, which does not really felt, so we're depending on the wool to act like the glue to hold it all together.
And now we're going to start with our new piece of hand-dyed indigo silk, and we're going to lay very thin tiled layers of roving at 90-degree angles to each other. In this case I just did 2, I should have done 3. But they're thin. You can still see the designs of the silk through them. And over the top of those pieces, I'm going to add my details. These are particularly silk. And then I'm starting to add pieces of pre-felted details and made of old sweaters and blankets and roving. And pretty soon here, we're going to add a little bit more wisps, eyelash wisps over the top of roving to sandwich all of these pieces, and especially the pieces that don't like to felt together. And now I'm going to spray it until I just see beads of water on the top. You're not soaking it. And we're going to rub front and back so that the water migrates all the way through the piece, so you don't have dry sections in there. And then I'll pull the fabric back and check that I have the different fibers starting to migrate through. And now we're going to start into our felting process, and we're adding some tools to make it faster because rolling is tedious by using a hand palm sander here and previously an electric sander. You use both of these after you already have stickability after rubbing, and that will help speed your whole process up. Also, adding water, soapy water on top of your plastic will help not grab your hands and the fiber underneath. Now we're going to be part of the felting process, and you're going to roll it in 4 directions to try to get the fibers to start to shrink in towards each other in the direction of the roll before we actually toughen it with fulling. And now we're checking the back to make sure that we have stickability and doing any last minute spot felting by hand and or the palm sander. Then after that, we're going to pull the water from the piece. First, I'm toweling out the water before I full it, gently rolling it out, and then I'm checking the back to make sure a fiber has gone through. And I'm going to start fulling by rolling my edges in, and I'm going to, in this case, throw it. Here I'm just throwing the lightly dampened material to finally shrink it and make it ready for wear. So here we are. This is sometimes when things go awry. It didn't really felt through. The fibers didn't migrate through enough in the middle. I could have put more fibers underneath, but anyway, how I'm going to save this, because I think the design turned out really nice, is I'm going to put the free motion stitcher on my machine foot, and I could do this by hand as well. Let it dry first, I'll press it, and then I'm going to do stitching that's going to reinforce these lines and stitch it down, and then maybe add some additional
fines and stuff to it, maybe some buttons or sparkles or something like that, piece of metal, and to finish it off. But I'm pleased with the pattern. I'm not so pleased that my pre-felted pieces were a little bit too felted, and but that's the way it goes in art and life. So anyway, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again. Be sure to join us on our website, DittmerArtBarn.com, where you can see more videos, check out the classes, sign up for the newsletter, or ask about workshops.